It's your man Phil Williams from The Phil Williams Show. Welcome, welcome, and welcome. Man, I tell you, seemed like a long week already, man, and we just now getting to Wednesday. Wow. But anyway, again, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys. Got a pretty interesting thing I want to talk about. How you doing, Chandra? How you doing, Clifford James? Lee Marco, what's going on, Lee? How you doing? Amy Hollis Krause, what's up? How you doing, sis? Mary, Gary, Leon, man, it's field time. I heard that. It is field time. Welcome, everybody. How you doing, Don? Yes. Who's that? Keena? Hey, Keena, how you doing? Valerie. Hey, there's one of my favorites. I mean, all you guys are my favorites, but what's up, Alice? Miss Steen, what's going on? It's your tall conservative. How you guys? What's up, William? Man, Michelle. How you doing, Michelle? Cliff. Thank you, sir, for keeping me in your prayers. Thank you, all of you guys, for keeping me in your prayers. Cliff Kelly. Hey, matter of fact, while Cliff Kelly's here, did you guys get his book? You need to get Cliff Kelly's book, The Sixth Sense. You need to get that book. I'm telling you, it's so enlightening. What's up, Cliff? Hey, how you doing, Janice Barlow? And Willie Glenn. What's going on? William Davis, Billy Ashworth, and Amanda Gale. Welcome and thank you guys, man. Invite your friends to friend the Phil Williams Show. Just do these things, man. It's a new approach to conservatism. I'm not going to call it new. I'm going to call it a creative approach to conservatism. We suck at being creative. I'm just saying, period. But anyway, how you guys doing today? This is the day after the truth-telling tour of Donald Trump, the begging of conservatives and Republicans, the begging of Trump to be presidential the day after. It's just amazing how much we are begging this man to lie to us. We are begging him to stay on the liar prompter. The only chance we have of this dude being presidential, while we have been hoodwinked for him to represent the right side of America, is to beg this man to be at the behest of the liar prompter, his speech writers. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing. But that's not what I want to talk about today. I want to address this statue thing. See, first of all, we have been we're going to have to own up some stuff. We're going to have to do some soul searching. What's up? What's going on, Chris Zeller? What's going on? What's up, guys? Jennifer Helms, how you doing, Jennifer? Just saying hi to a few more people. How you guys doing? Welcome and thank you for joining. Pam Cook. What's going on, Pam? But this is the thing. We're going to have to do some soul searching. We're going to have to understand that we have been fundamentally transformed. You're going to have to admit it. It's going to be one of the hardest things for you to face. Another thing we're going to have to admit, that we can no longer cast aspersions on the snowflakes, on the safe space people. We can't. Why? Because we are participating in their arguments. We're participating, and I'm going to show you how. This statue thing is just another liberal attempt of erasing their history. And let me show you how we're participating in it. The liberals know the only two group of people that will buy into this slavery foolishness is you Republican white people that think that you have to go the extra mile to prove that you're not racist. The people on the right that needs to prove somehow that they're not racist. And our young people that you send to their institutions of learning. They're the only ones that trip on this slavery stuff. The only ones. Here's what you're missing because of the fundamental transformation. They are giving us the key to fixing our communities. They're giving us the key. The statue thing is the key. The statue thing is the key. The thing is this: if our young people will mobilize around this false sense of slavery that Democrats must have, if that's what they'll mobilize around, why don't we use it? If BLM and all these people, Antifa and all these people, KKK and all these people will mobilize around a statue, why don't we use it then? Let's make a statue. Let's put a plaque number on it, a year number 17 something, make a statue, and then let's get these people to mobilize around, because then they'll get rid of it. They'll create this false sense of we got to get rid of it in order to make this country better. The part that's real rich about it is the ones who created it and put the statue there to be able to monument their accomplishment of losing or whatever, are the ones that's now spearheading the movement to get rid of them. And you're participating. So you can prove that you're not racist, prove that we need to move on. That's not the thing we need to move on about. History is history. History is history. Them statues and flags can't do anything but create more division in here while they rebrand the Republican Party as the racists that they're not. They're rebranding they have never, ever been able in history to be able to make the party of Lincoln be the racists that the Democrats are. Their statues they're using. Let's do this. Let's put the Crips and the Bloods on a statue and put the plaque of 17 something on the statue of Crips and Bloods, so that we can get rid of it. See, the thing is this. This is how I see a Crips and Bloods. Here's how I see this gang thing. Here's how I see what's happening in Chicago, Baltimore, and all these things with the black community. Here's how I see it. That is the byproduct of slavery. Not the Confederate flag, not the statue of Robert E. Lee, or nothing like this. The Crips and Bloods. That's the byproduct of slavery. So let's put it in a statue so we can get rid of that byproduct of slavery. How is it the byproduct of slavery? Read the Willie Lynch letters. How to control your black slave for hundreds of years. By putting your slave against each other, using jealousy, envy, strife, and put it against each other, and you'll be able to control your black slave. So let's put the Crips and Bloods on a statue, put the plaque number of the Willie Lynch syndrome on there, because that's the true byproduct working aspect of slavery. Not them freaking statues. Not them statues. You're fundamentally transformed into believing if you just remove the statue. No, you're not. Because you're not, the statue is not in, is the statue in Milwaukee? Is the statue over there in Baltimore? Black Lives Matter is not. They're not in Baltimore. So if we put a statue there and put a slave time period stamp on it, then maybe we can get Black Lives Matter to march to get rid of Crips and Bloods in the city that's really killing them. That where black lives don't matter to them. Put it in a statue. If Black Lives Matter is not at the abortion clinics, which is a byproduct of slavery because of Margaret Sanger and the KKK and things like this, then why don't we put an aborted baby on a statue, put the eugenicist plaque on it, and put the time period of where that thought process came from, and show them that's a byproduct of slavery, since that gets them all worked up, and then now they'll come and march to get rid of Planned Parenthood. Use the statue. Don't buy into their argument of the statue trying to prove that you're not racist. It's a distraction. It's a massive distraction. It's a weapon of mass distraction. You see, this is a very easy solution. Everything, why don't you put on a statue the graduation, the lack of a good graduation rate in the black communities or in these young millennial communities, and put that on a statue and put a plaque from the time period of the thought process to enslave them through the lack of education, and show how they're participating in slavery so that they'll come and coalesce around the statue to get rid of the low graduation rates. Put it on a statue. But see, you won't think that way. Because one, conservatives suck at being creative. And two, you're distracted. You are fundamentally transformed. Put it in a statue. What else do we need to get rid of in order to, so people can have a chance? Let's put on a statue and put a timestamp period of slavery so that people can focus on it. Let's put on the statue the notion that we're all going to be equal. No, we're all created by God, but God said that the poor will always be amongst us. That don't mean that we participate in poverty freely. That means that you'll never get rid of poverty. You'll never get rid of the poor of thinking. Stop running around here thinking you're going to make this thing perfect when the God Almighty said that we'll never be perfect. We'll all fall short. Stop chasing the red herring of perfection so that these people continue to march and say, if we just get rid of a statue, we'll make things perfect. Let me tell you what's happening, people, on another note. They have found a way to force the people on the right to look like they're protecting slavery. The slavery is happening in the Democratic districts, the housing developments. That's where slavery is happening. The EBT card is an aspect of slavery. Not empowering yourself, using the power that God has in your life to empower yourself. It's okay if you have to have food stamps from point A to point B, but from point A to Z, that's where slavery's happening. But you're distracted by chasing after these statues. Slavery is happening because they keep electing the same people that's making sure drugs and guns and violence stay in their community. That's where slavery is happening. Has nothing to do with them statues. Nothing to do with it. You can't find a statement where Robert E. Lee or any of these slave people from the South says if you keep electing black politicians, then you'll be able to eradicate the whole black community. You never seen that. They didn't say that. This is some stuff that the Democrats are doing right now. It has nothing to do with the statue. You can't find anybody that said if you create Chicago with a four-fingered mayor running around doing his thing and some kind of fake black president, then you'll be able to. You never seen that. You don't see none of that stuff in the history books. This is some evolution junk. This is liberalism run amok. This is the byproduct of the fundamental transformation of this country, of your patriotism, to make you think that a statue and a flag is the functioning slavery right now when it has nothing to do with it. Nothing. You know what's slavery? Here's the functioning slavery now. To think that your politician continue to get money and you can make him popular, make sure he gets name recognition and all these kind of things. That's slavery. Our founding escaped slaves, they were electing politicians based on how they functioned in their community, how they functioned in their church. They wasn't some popular people. Do you understand that the rock stars, they weren't rock stars that created our Constitution. They weren't popular. They weren't personality driven. You're enslaved to making sure that you make somebody popular or elect somebody popular. We can't create a third party because the principle of a third party to get away from these people that's been hoodwinking us and continue to enslave us to the political money and donations and all this foolishness, making sure that you give money to these politicians so to get TV advertising and all these kind of things. You're enslaved to that foolishness to where you can't even see how you create a valuable third party unless you get one of these popular politicians to come over to endorse you. That's slavery. shows that you're fundamentally transformed. It is handcuffing our abilities to grow grassroots, long term. Right now, there's grassroots organizations that feel that they gotta get a Mike Lee to come over and endorse it. Gotta get a Ted Cruz. You gotta get a Mark. You gotta get somebody popular in order for us to be viable. That's not strength. That's not patriotism. That's not wise. You have turned a normal politician into some kind of deity or something of that nature. Don't you know you can do all things through Christ Jesus who strengthens you? You have turned these statues and these flags into gods. To where the same people that's got you riled up about these things are the very same people that's taking God out of everything. These statues are not gods. These statues, these flags are not gods. What about the Jesus Christ that you say that you believe in? By participating in these asinine arguments, you are just diminishing the power of God in your life. Can't you admit that you're fundamentally transformed? God is so diminished in our life that we think a winning strategy is to vote for a lesser of evil. This is how much God has shrunk in our lives, people. Why don't we put that notion into a statue? Put a plaque of 17 something on it so we can get rid of the foolishness that we got to have a man to save us. An evil man. So why don't we put that in a statue so we can coalesce around it and get rid of it? There is a power that you have inside of you that you're giving away to these politicians and these political arguments. You're sitting there hoping and praying that Donald Trump will bring unity. He didn't win with unity, people. Think about it. This man won with hate. He hated on every single Republican on that stage. He didn't win you over with policies. He won you over with hate. He was banking on not only the hate that you had for Washington, other human beings. He won over the hate that you had for Hillary Clinton. Because you hated Hillary so much, you said, I will love evil for a moment. I will accept evil because I hate Hillary. Donald Trump hated the Republicans. He hated all the way to where he's at right now. And you're so fundamentally transformed that you can't see that all it takes is a hope and a wish and a speechwriter and a liar prompter to bring you some kind of essence that America can be saved. That dude hates being without his Twitter. It's hate. Hate helped him win. Hate helped you elect him. We got to do some soul searching. This thing is on a platform of hate. The thing is crooked, and we're trying to build a straight America off of hate. You hate to hear when somebody else doesn't agree with you. That's why you block them. That's why you ridicule them. That's why you dog them out. That's why you cuss them out. Because you hate to hear something contrary to how you feel. You hate to lose the status that you have with Rush Limbaugh's. You hate to lose that status, so you continue to let somebody who sold you out encourage you to vote for somebody who's been selling you out for 30 or 40 years. Come on, people. And here's where I'm going to throw Donald Trump a bone. Because I believe in Christ Jesus more than I believe in anything else. We're not fighting against flesh and blood. Donald Trump is a weapon of mass distraction. that makes you think he's a winner. But if you look at what's inside that guy, it's not Donald Trump. It's about powers and principalities and spiritual wickedness in high places. This is a spiritual thing, people. That they know how to make it physical through statues and flags, Twitter numbers and poll numbers and stuff like this. Guess what poll these liberals will not ask you about? How much do you believe in Jesus over do you believe in your local politician? How much do you put God in front of your life versus the next focus group commercial production? How much Jesus do you share with your children when it comes to the fear of them not making it home versus the Crips and Bloods or the KKK or the Antifa? How much Jesus do you share? Why don't they ask these kind of poll questions? How much Christ are you putting to the side so that your child can go to a place that's going to teach them how to read about, I got 2 mommies and I got 5 daddies and all kinds of foolishness like this? How much do you believe in what God says in your life? But the very same people that tell you have to believe that these statues are enslaving you, that these generals that lost the war, immortalized in a loss, you replaced how much God is living, how much the living Jesus Christ is functioning in your life for some dead statues and a dead issue of slavery. Can't you see? And then, how much trust do you have to know that you had a life without Christ? That you had a life without God before you got saved? To have some kind of patience and ask God for the kind of patience, wherewithal, and creativity to go get some other godless people to believe in Jesus Christ like you? Or are you fundamentally transformed to thinking you're going to take the easy route? Come on, people, this thing is not difficult. But maybe if we put it in a statue and put a plaque of slavery time, then we can get these people to mobilize around getting rid of this foolishness. It's principles over personality. I've been telling you this for 2 years. Principles. God-like principles. Use them same kind of principles for the people that created this country. One nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Not that everybody will be all happy, not utopia of everybody will be even, not everybody will be equal, because God doesn't allow us to fall into that trap. We all fall short. Since we all fall short, what God and our founding escaped slaves established was a level of accountability, so that we don't get hoodwinked and start protecting somebody who's falling short on purpose. We all fall short. Accountability is that thing that protects us from somebody who's falling short. Come on, people. Don't fall for this statue. But if you are, then own up to this. You are not in position to laugh at these liberals in their safe spaces. You're not in position to laugh at them needing coloring books and crayons and therapists. If you're going to help them, assist them in their argument that these statues and flags are enslaving people right now. These statues and flags are motivating people right now. And if you could just remove the statue and flag, you'll take the heart out of the KKK. Nah. Because while you're focusing on those flags, you're begging a flawed individual like Donald Trump to please read the teleprompter. Please read what your speechwriters wrote. I'm counting on you for moral stability. Why aren't you being morally stable for us, Donald Trump? Donald Trump, come on, I need you. I need you, Donald Trump, for my moral stability. I need you. To hell with Jesus right now. I need Donald Trump. Donald Trump, please read the teleprompter, please. Fundamentally transformed. Fundamentally transformed. Wow. In closing, share this video. Share this video. There's some big things coming from Phil Williams. Some huge things coming. God is in the blessing business, and business is good. Make Christ your business partner, God will fund it. But if you're going to take your funding and give it to some human beings, praying that they be presidential, when there's nothing in their history that showed they could be the president of their own domain, let alone the president of the United States of America, the president over your freedom, the president over our troops. Nothing has been, this dude hated all the way to the White House. His whole thing is built on a platform of division and hate. He started from day one. But since you hated Hillary so much, you were tricked into hating these illegals so much. They're only man's illegals, but they're God's legals. Yes, our country is founded on rules and laws. I am all for holding these people accountable. But when you start going down the road of hating another human being, that's where I jump ship. Let's do what it takes to fix our borders. Let's do what it takes. But let's make sure that we don't do what it takes at the stake of being inhumane. And then think we're going to go tell other countries about humanity. And they're going to listen to us. You know what makes the United States the moral leader of the world? Because we have a constitution based on freedom. A constitution is based on principles versus personalities. It's based on we the people, not them the government. This is what makes us the moral compass. And we've been fundamentally transformed to all we need is a wildebeest and somebody who registers with an R. And we'll prop that registration up with all the essence of the Constitution, conservatism, and our faith in Jesus Christ. Because he was able to tap into our hate of another human being and created all the hateful things. Look at the hateful things he said about Heidi Cruz, the hateful things he said about Ben Carson, the hateful things he said about Marco Rubio, the hateful things that I had all you guys saying, about time somebody cussed one of them guys out. Come on, people. Come on, people. And then now you guys are tripping because he's continuing to say hateful things. Why don't you say the right thing about Charlotte? He did. He said what he wanted to say about Charlotte. If you want to get rid of it, put what he said into a statue, and then you'll get people to immobilize. Hey, I'm Phil Williams. Stop spending money on coloring books and stop spending money on crayons and safe spaces and therapists. Get Jesus. Love you guys. Share this video. God bless.